G'day, it's Rob here. For those of you who wonder how good the little Bullfinch brazing torch is, I'll just give you a quick demo on a job I'm doing. It's an old vice that I got for $10 for a drill press. It was absolutely buggered, and it had been all drilled out and it was a real mess. Anyway, I filled in all the holes with a weld. Actually, when I did this with, this is nodular cast iron, but I did all this with plain steel, just ordinary mild steel welding rods, even though it's cast, and I peened it. I welded and peened it. So one day I might do a video and show you how I do that, but yeah, you can weld nodular cast iron with plain ordinary mild steel rods, no problem, provided you paint it. And that's a little trick I picked up from the internet, and yeah, it works great. I have tried it on grey cast iron. I got my doubts that it'd be too good on that, but for nodular, anything like a vice, yeah, you can weld it with plain rods. Anyway, getting back to what I'm doing, the end of it was the grip, you know, the handle. Whoever did this originally just welded it, flat washes on the end, so every time you went to use it, to stop it coming out, every time you went to use it, they dug into your hands. So it was a shit of an arrangement. So I had a bit of milled steel laying around, so I'm just going to put them on the ends. And I mean, you could arc weld them on just arcing the end and grind it back, but I'll do it with do a nice neat job with the brazing torch. And I mean, I could have put plain ones on, but I had this is a bit of steel I'd nailed a while back and never used, and I thought I'll use them up, and looks pretty. So we'll bronze braze it on. I'll show you how good the little torch is. Okay, you're going to put the end on your shaft, and of course it can go up and down, but you want it in the right position to just fill in the end with a bit of bronze to hold it there. So you just set it up, use a bit of old steel, drop it on, and that's the right position. So now what we'll do is we'll heat it up and just bronze in the end section. It'll run down alongside as well, but pretty simple process. Use something light like this and it won't drag much heat away, so that should heat up pretty quick and should get the job done in no time. Beautiful. Now clean her up on the lid shaft. Right, well, here she is. That's one end done. So after you've done the bronzing, just drop in some water, let it cool down, and then wire buff it. Clean up the end on the linisher, and you get a nice finish. Feed her in. It's a pretty crappy old bit of steel. It's the original bit of steel, but it's good enough. I'm not going to get too carried away about it. It's an old vice. I'm not overly excited about it. And then we do the other end, and it's just a matter of setting it up now so that we can fill in the end so it comes up the same as that, and then it should be done. Piece of cake. Right, so to do the other end, I've got the thing back together, and I've got a bit of old steel tubing. I always keep bits of old scrap steel like this and this. Keep them all, and an old washer. I keep all these basic bits of light gauge steel, those 4 or 5 bits, just to position stuff when I'm bronzing it, because you want to avoid any heat loss as much as possible. You can't go bronzing, you know, holding your stuff in the vise. It'll wreck your vise and, well, the paint job anyway. Well, what paint there is. And you lose too much heat. So basically you have to restrict your heat loss with a LPG gun like this. And so light gauge tubing is just ideal, just to keep everything where it should be, and that'll just heat up nicely now, and we'll bronze it. I just use the old Easy 303 and a hard bronze rod, and you're good to go. So we'll get into it. Right, that's that done. And now it's just a matter of quench it in some water, clean it up, job's done. Easy as that. Great little gun for jobs like this. So this is the gun I use, the Bullfinch, and there's a review on the Bullfinch on another video if you want to have a look at it. This will do up to about 1 inch. As you can see, that there was about 3/4, and it did it. It's going to be slower than Oxy naturally, but yeah, LPG, Bullfinch, no problem. I use it all the time. It's a fantastic little gun, and you can run it on a big bottle of gas for a whole year, no problem. It's costs peanuts. Compare it to MAP gas or whatever the equivalent is now, and you'd pay $20 for some poxy little cylinder that lasts you like 15 minutes. This will last you for hours and hours, and it's also hotter and better than MAP gas. It's got a stronger flame. Right, having said that, I'll clean up the job and we can look at it. Well, here we go, it's all done. Only took a few minutes, and it's done a beautiful finish, as you can see. The bronze recess, lovely. Really nice job, and I just reused the old shaft. It's a bit poxy, I suppose, but it's good enough. And the whole thing only cost me $10, so I'm not complaining. So it's better than having washers on there like they had. So yeah, you know, if you want to do any hard bronzing at home and you haven't got Oxy, well, you can't afford to have Oxy, because Oxy costs a fortune to rent bottles in Australia. I mean, it's ridiculous. LPG will do it, as I just showed you. That LPG gun there will do it. That's about the only one I've struck that will do it with LPG. And yeah, it'll save you a power to over MAP gas, for sure. So there's my old vise, and when I got this it was stuffed. It had been all drilled out to hell, and I had to re-weld it. The jaws are missing, so I made up some plain jaws for it. You would have seen where I cut those using friction discs on the lathe in another video. And the trick I have is I like having plain jaws for some jobs. You don't mark stuff, and I use my engineer's vise crossways in this most of the time. That's got serrated jaws, so even though I've got a rotary table on the drill press, it's a big old Taiwanese drill press, and it's got a rack. It's great old machine. You've got to have a rotary table and a rack, otherwise they're a pain in the arse to use, quite frankly. Doesn't matter who makes them. Yeah, but even with that, it's good. You can move your job around, tighten up this one, tighten up that one. If you don't want to use serrated jaws, take it out. Use the plain jaws. There you go, guys. A few more tips from me, and I hope you found it interesting. Yeah, I hope those guys that are snowed in over there in the northern areas have a warm fire to sit by. And here, well, we're going to head into furnace territory soon. It's already been pretty hot, and in the next few months we'll be cracking the 40s, so definitely beer drinking time. Okay guys, see you all, stay warm, cheers.